Hi guys. I look like some sort of 60s secretary going on, don't I? I don't know whether to grow my fringe out or trim it again and have it proper. But we'll figure that out later on. How is everyone? How are you doing? If you're in the UK, then it's only a couple of days before lockdown is over, even though restrictions are still in place. Where I am, for the first time ever, we've gone up to tier 2. But really, there isn't much difference. We can see 6 friends, just not inside. It's always got to be outside. You can't have a drink in a pub, unless you have a substantial meal. There's still going to be sports events now and sort of concert things, I think, where you can have people going. You know, and then like I said, there's the Christmas bubbles from the 23rd to the 27th, so it's all good. And then maybe they'll lock us down again for a few weeks in January, and then hopefully they're going to start rolling out that vaccine, because that's all we hear, rolling out the vaccine. And they say that if enough people have it, you know, and they get the most important people done, then hopefully COVID restrictions will go. So we shall see. Hopefully 2021 is going to be good. My wedding will be everything I dreamed of, and everyone will be safe, and there'll be, you know, we can hug people and be happy again. But I think everyone's done really well so far. So yeah. Anyway, how about you guys? Whereabouts in the world are you? Is it the same for you? Have you gone up a tier, down a tier? Are there Christmas bubbles for you if you're not in the UK? You know, let me know. We want to know. Anyway, it is, what is it? It's the 30th of November. Woo! Tomorrow is December, Advent calendar, and the countdown begins. Yes. So, now, it's Monday. You know what that means? It's time for Ghosts, Myths, and Legends. Are you sitting comfortably? Shall we begin? Did that sound like, are you shitting comfortably? I apologise. Are you sitting comfortably? Today, we're going to tell a story that involves giants. Back in the days when Brutus defeated the giants dispersed, and most of them went to Devon and Cornwall. A lot of them settled in Dartmoor. And that is where we shall find our characters of our stories, Giant Blunderbuss, who settled in Dartmoor in Dinga Tor. Now this, did I say his name? His name was Blunderbuss? I think I did, I don't know, I can't remember, and there's Paw Patrol in the background. So Blunderbuss, as a lot of giants did, had 4 wives. Now 3 of those wives were of horrible disposition. They were grumpy and mean and rude. His 4th wife, Jenny or Jeannie, she was kind and sweet and happy-go-lucky, and nothing really put her down. You know, the wives, they hated her for this. Blunderbuss loved her. He loved sitting with her and spending time with her and just talking and, you know, bathing in her presence like lovers do with each other when it's really good. And they did not like it. And our Jeannie, I'll call her Jeannie, it might be Jeannie and Jenny, but I'll call her Jeannie. She couldn't cook, bless her, she couldn't cook. So the other wives made her do all the horrible tasks, from laundry to cleaning, from morning, noon till night. But she didn't complain. She was happy as long as she was with her beloved Blunderbuss. Then none of that mattered. It was fine. Everything was cool. But obviously, the terrible trio weren't happy about this at all. Why should she take all of Blunderbuss's attention away from them? It just wasn't right. So they came up with a plan to make Blunderbuss's life hell. I'm sorry for all the extra loud noise in the background. My daughter is messing around on the floor with Paw Patrol toys and a walking stick. Anywho, so they decided to ruin his food. They'd burn it. They'd make it absolutely inedible. They made his bed lumpy and horrible. They didn't wash his clothes or anything, even though, you know, they usually made her do it. They would take over and make it horrible. So in the end, they said to him, we'll get back to what we were like if you get rid of her. And obviously he refused at first. But after having upset stomachs and indigestion and bad back and not being able to sleep and horrible dirty clothes, he just went, okay, right, you win. But our blunderbuss was smart, you know. He'll ship her off. Yeah, make them happy. Give him a happier home life, happy wife, happy life. But he just moved her to a cave system in Cornwall, which wasn't ideal for either of them, but he could go and see her in secret and they could still talk and spend time together. So Jeannie put up with it, though she would cry bitterly to herself because she missed being with him all the time. One day, after weeping bitterly in her cave, she heard some men nearby telling a tale of how they were going to prepare to go shipwrecking. There's a name for it and I can't remember what it was called. I talked about it as well in my first ever one and I can't remember. I will look it up and I will tell you what it's called. Oh, brain like a sieve. Anyway, they were going to lure ships to their doom. Now, she didn't want to do anything at first because obviously she's scared for her safety. I mean, men were driving out giants left, right and centre, you know. But Jeannie's kind. She is sweet. And so, from a safe distance, when they started setting out their plan and luring the ship in, she moved upshore and set a huge fire so that the ship saw what was about to happen and started moving off track so they wouldn't get smashed into the shore and obviously die. Now, not the sailors, I beg your pardon, the men that were luring the ship were furious, obviously, and they went everywhere trying to find this woman who had done this monster. But the sailors managed to catch up with them, and obviously they were pissed off, and so the men were slain by the sailors. Now, the captain of the ship that had been saved by Jeannie found her. He was a Phoenician, and she was weeping bitterly again, like she did, poor thing. And he said thank you for saving their lives, and what could he do for her? And she liked talking, so she burst into tears, and she told him her tale of how she couldn't be with the man she loved, how everything was going on, she couldn't cook, they pushed her out. And he listened, and it was lovely for her. She literally poured her heart out to him. And he said, what you've done, fear not you. I know what I can do. Where I come from, we have something called Clotted Cream. I will teach you how to make this, and once he has tasted this, oh, girl, you're going to be in there, no one's going to get rid of you. And so he taught her the recipe, and she learned, and she pricked it up really well, and it was delicious. And so, happy, she let Blunderbuss taste it when he next came to visit her. That was it. One taste of that, and he was like, girl, I ain't ever letting you go out of my sight. You keep making me this, and we're good, no matter what happens. So he brings her back to Dingator. The other wives are not happy about this. What the fuck are they doing bringing her back? But they too changed their minds when they tasted this Clotted Cream. Oh my gosh, they loved her. She was welcome. Everything was fine. You have to tell us how to make it. You have to tell us. She did. And they were nice to her, and she stayed there, and they were all happy. And throughout time and generations, the recipe for Clotted Cream went down the generations and became a massive thing in Devon and around Dartmoor from where they were. Now, this Clotted Cream became Clotted Cream. It's a delicious delicacy that has caused a divide between Devon and Cornwall ever since. With who made it, whose cream is it, should it go first, should it go last on your cream tea? If you're not English, look it up. Oh, the divides it is called. But if the legend is true, we know where it comes from, guys, and that's good old Devon. But don't take my word on it. It is a legend. So, who would have thought the good old Clotted Cream would come from a giant who was bitterly heartbroken by not being able to be with her love, and a kind Phoenician captain who taught her the recipe to pass it on and ease her heartache. So next time you put that delicious cream on your pudding, with your rice pudding, on your scone for your cream tea, whether you do it the Devon or Cornish way, if you have it with apple pie, or a mince pie now we're nearly at Christmas, when you taste that, remember how Blunderbuss must have thought, and how Jeannie thought when she knew that she'd won his heart over with that delicious cream. I hope you enjoyed this story. I hope it's made you hungry for some clotted cream and made you eager to think about where things come from and the stories behind them. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye!